Okay, so don't be thrown off. That'll be every single day, 180 days of the year. So there's your schedule. We're in here until 9:20. So let's talk about what we're doing today. So if you have not already, we're gonna do this right now. If you have not put your cell phone back in that caddy that's back there by Aiken back there, go put it back there right now. Take your cell phone, go put it back in the little slot. I do not assign you a number. I expect that you can find your own number to put it in. So put your cell phone back there. If you're that person that holds onto their cell phone and I ask you to put it back there, now it's gonna be mine. So put it back there. I'm gonna just trust that you put it back there if you have one. Now if you have a smartwatch, fine dandy, don't care. So, the phone's gotta be off your person. Now if it's a test day, smartwatches also have to be off. I'll work on that later. So thank you for that. So every day when you walk in, it should be automatic. You walk in the door, put it in the caddy, walk to your desk. Now, if you're that person that's gonna keep your cell phone and you're gonna be chatting during class, you just watch your cell phone. So put it back there. I'm gonna trust that you do. Okay? Now, if you don't recognize this geometry, I'm Mr. Ward. Hi, sorry I didn't introduce myself earlier. Hello. This is the textbook you're gonna be getting here probably tomorrow. I'm gonna send that textbook to you. You'll get a physical copy. It's 10 pounds. It's huge. You'll also get an online version tomorrow. And I've already made your accounts for you. And I already attached the book to it. So I did that last week. So you probably got an email from me last week. That's what it's all about. So now, my name is Mr. Ward. You can call me Mr. Ward, Coach Ward. I don't care. Just something with a word. Now, a little bit about myself. I'm a mentor model teacher. So what that means for you guys, sometimes I'll have different educators, administrators in here to watch. They're not watching you. They're watching what we're doing that day. Maybe it's how to show a certain type of lesson or a certain strategy that we're learning. So don't be thrown off. Sometimes there'll be other classes in here. So that's just a part of that job that I'm a part of. So yeah, so don't be thrown off if somebody just walks in and sits, let them go. They're just here to watch that day. So background about myself. I'm a Ventura grad, just down the street. I graduated from Ventura back in 2001. Yeah, I'm really old. So yeah, my whole family went to Ventura. I went to Iowa State University, graduated with a bachelor's in mathematics. I have a minor in psychology. I almost had a minor in science and history. I have a ton of credits. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I'm coaching certified. I've coached almost every sport except for wrestling. I don't know anything about wrestling. Sorry, Ventura didn't have wrestling. I've never coached soccer, but it's one of my favorite sports, or baseball. Coached that. So, but I've coached almost everything else. Now, classroom materials, just so you're aware, when you walk in this room, these are the non-negotiables. These are the things you have to have every single day. You have to have a pencil or a pen, something erasable, not a crayon, not a marker. It has to be a pencil or a pen that's erasable. Textbook, book cover. I don't care if you're gonna use that physical book, but you have to have a book cover on it, because that's one of the first assignments of the year. I'm gonna assign you to put a book cover on your book, your textbook. So it could be one of those Heidi, like, paper bags. It could be the little stretchy socky thing, but you have to have a book cover on it, not just weird piece of paper taped to it. So it's got to actually be a real book cover, so you can make it. If you do not have access to one of those, I will provide you a Hy-Vee food bag and you can make it a cover. So, but yeah, so make sure that that's the first time that you'll get those textbooks tomorrow. Now, if you don't want to use that textbook, you will need to have your Chromebook, because that will have your online version. So, notebook paper, you cannot be that person that has loose sheet paper. You'll never survive this class. You have to have a dedicated notebook. We use a lot of paper. We take a lot of notes in here. You have to have a dedicated notebook for geometry. Now, calculator. We'll talk about the calculators here in a minute. Nothing more than $10. $10, this is like a good one. Don't buy anything more expensive. If you have something more expensive, like somebody like you have an older sibling that gave you one, cool. Don't go out and buy one, they're dumb. Just get $10 cheapies. And then a Chromebook, if you're gonna use that for your online. Sometimes I'll have you research stuff. You have to go find something online. So don't feel like you're just gonna not use it. We will use Chromebooks every now and then. But I don't want you that person that just goes and checks your email and you're messaging people and you're checking other things online. Like, it's just for math. You might use my website, you might use your online textbook or checking email if I have you going to a certain link. But yeah. That's pretty much the things you need every day. Non-negotiables, you need them. Don't walk in here with nothing in your hands, because I'll send you right back out. So, questions with that stuff? Perfect. Okay, now, textbook. These are the things you're gonna get tomorrow. As I warned you, it's 10 pounds of goodness. It's super thick. Don't just throw it in your locker. You will instantly break this thing, because its spine is really kind of weak. and they're so big they'll just instantly snap, and they cost $124 as of this morning on Amazon. They're super expensive. When you get the book, it is practically brand new. Like, you'll notice, like, they look new because hardly anyone ever uses it once you get the online version, which you will get tomorrow as well. I already made your account and I've already logged you into it and got your book for you. So you don't have to do anything. I've already set it up for you. So there you go. It's 974 pages. I expect every page to be in there. It's not Dead Poet Society in here where you leave all the pages in the book. So make sure you are you're taking care of that book. So if you're going to leave it in your locker to the end of the year, it will never hurt my feelings as long as you use that online version. But if you want it, you'll get a physical copy as well. It's got 13 chapters. Now expect cover in here. We don't go in order. I bounce around a lot. Sometimes I'm out of the textbook. But we go through about chapters 1 through 6, not in any particular order. Sometimes we bounce around from chapter to chapter. And then we go 8 to 12 roughly. That's kind of the end of the year kind of stuff. So that gives you kind of a time frame for the year. But again, I don't go in order. There's some chapters I kind of glaze over really quickly because we don't need all the stuff in it. So, yeah, there you go. Now, calculators. $5 Casio. Those things are awesome. That's the type of calculator you want. It's got all the scientific keys on it. It's $5. It's awesome. That's the thing you want. You do not want this $189 TI Platinum thing. That is the dumbest calculator ever. You can't even use that in college. They don't even allow it. It's got a keyboard. You can type in solve, type the math problem, and it does it for you. Like, that takes no mental effort. That's dumb. Don't buy that thing. For $189, you could go online, buy a used iPad, download the Texas Instrument app, which is free, and it would do more than this thing could. Don't spend $189 on a pointless calculator you can't even use. Now, $10 little cheapy Texas thing, that's perfect. Like this thing, kind of like this one. This is the more updated version. These are fine, $10, cool. Now, I have 10 of these. So I have 10. They're to be, borrowed throughout the year. So like you don't have access to a calculator, maybe you forgot yours own, you can borrow mine during class. You're not going to take it with you. It stays here. So don't take them. I bought 10 new ones. So don't leave with them. They're nice. And then this little $150 calculator, those are stupid. Don't buy these. This is something you need for Calc 1 in college. Don't go buy it in high school. There's no point. It's just wasting your money. Questions? Perfect. Okay. Now, expectations. So, you guys have no problem with this because I can already tell. I expect it to be quiet in here. Not pin drop. Right now it's kind of unnervingly quiet. You guys are really shy because you don't know me at all. But I expect to be quiet when I'm up here lecturing, when I'm teaching, when we're going through new material. I don't want you talking to your neighbor and causing distractions. Because some people need it pin drop quiet for them to learn. There's always that one student that has a quick hot temper that somebody's talking and they're not understanding something. I had a phone call already. Mr. Ward here. Hey. Yes. Oh, sure. Yep. Shermer. Grandmother's here, I guess. So. Down in the office. Perfect. Okay. Now, I expect to be quiet here, but not like pin drop. Now, there's sometimes when I'm lecturing, yeah, I want you to be quiet. But then when we get to work time where we can just work on homework, I expect lively conversations. The reason why, your neighbor might be able to explain it better than I could. Because you guys are on the same wavelength with each other. I know the material, but sometimes it's hard to get it conveyed to you, how easy it should be. But sometimes your neighbor can just tell you, oh, this is what you do, and you're like, oh, that's easy enough. So I expect that. That's nice to know that you can talk to your neighbors and figure stuff out. That's why I like it to be lively in here sometimes. Now, I do expect you to respect your classmates. Nothing's worse than you have a personal problem with a different classmate that's in this room. In this room, you're going to respect them enough that you're in here for a purpose. The purpose of you walking in that room, this door, is to learn math. If you cannot handle that responsibility, you probably won't be in here very long. So respect your classmates for one class period, just so you can learn something, so you're not the distraction. And this should be my number one bullet. This is the most important thing to me. Take responsibility for an education. A lot of people just don't even think about this. Education is super personal. It's what you soak in, right? Think about this. You have a personal hobby, right? My hobbies are anything technology. Apple, Windows, you name it. If it's tech, I love it. I want to learn more about it. So, but it's personal, right? I soak up everything I can about technology. I want to know it. I want to know how to use it, how to change it, how to modify it. I want to know everything about it. And I just soak it in. It's just like a personal thing. No one told me to do that. It's just my personal hobby, right? You have a personal hobby. You probably soak in everything in the world about that hobby. Is my door still locked? Sorry. I didn't realize the door's still locked. But yeah, but education is super personal. You learn it on your own because you're interested in it. That's what, that's what high school should be. Maybe it's not your best subject. Like you've labeled yourself like, I'm not the math student. In here, you're starting fresh. You don't have to be that person, I'm not the math person. That's not my subject. But it could be. You could be the worst math student leading up till now, and you become my best math student. Because this class is not Algebra 1. We do not just solve for X all day long. That is not what we do here. This class is more theoretical. We learn why we use stuff, why it was created, what is the formula, how did somebody come up with that formula for this type of math. It's not just solving for X all day long, right? Sometimes it's just vocabulary you're learning about the subject. So this could be a really nice class for you. It's a nice change of pace. You get to learn the more intricacies of mathematics as opposed to just solving for X and rinse repeat. That gets boring. So, but again, take responsibility. Challenge yourself a little bit because this class can be easy or can be hard depending on how much effort you put into it. So, now, classroom policies. If you're disruptive, you're probably going to leave this room. Just so you know, I'm very hard of hearing. So when somebody starts talking, I can't tune into any other conversation. So it becomes really disruptive to me if you're talking or you're causing a scene. You probably won't be in here very long because you're probably distracting somebody else as well. Homework. If I assign it, I expect it to be due on the due date. I don't assign homework and expect it to be done tomorrow. That's not realistic. You have lives outside this room. But I do give you a couple days to work on it, and I expect it to be done. Not that, well, I didn't have time. No, you had a couple days. Days. No one has time. You have things going on. You're going to make time to do it. You'll be assigned a textbook. They're individually numbered. You can't just lose it and steal your neighbor's. They're individually numbered. Sorry, so you're going to have to pay the $124 if you lose my book. Seating arrangement. Don't expect to be in this seat all the time. I switch it up a lot. Every couple days I switch it up. Different pods, different looks, rows sometimes, different looks. You will not be stuck in this spot for the rest of your life because that can be like super unnerving to people. They hate being front row, they hate being back row. They don't want to be next to this person. I switched up a lot. Now, if you have a personal preference or maybe you have a disability, you've got to let me know. Like I'm hard of hearing, as you know. You need to tell me that so I can put you in a spot where you can best learn. So you might be limited though. Now, cell phones. I expect them, to be put in the caddy right when you walk in. Smartwatches, that can be on you. But if it becomes a distraction where you're just texting your neighbor constantly, then it's got to go. So I expect them to be back there. I'm not gonna be that person that gets on you about it. I expect it to be back there. If it goes off and it's in your pocket, and you didn't put it back in there when you walked in this room, now it's mine, and you don't get a second option. That was it. So put it back there right when you walk in. Disabilities. Make sure you tell me. So if you have hard of seeing, hard of hearing, maybe you have some medical situation going on, you gotta let me know. I don't want to be thrown under the bus at first, the first parent-teacher conference that I didn't even know you're deaf. Like I need to know that, right? Because no wonder you're getting C's, D's, and F's and everything. You can't even hear me or see the board. I need to know that stuff. Don't throw me under the bus. Now, cheating, not tolerated. This room, I assign work, right? We have a ton of class period to work on it. It's not that I'm going to assign it and send you packing, right? Because why would I send you home to work on math homework when your parents probably have never seen math for 20 years? You should probably work on it here to ask me questions or your neighbors who are working on it with you. So I expect to be done in class. You cannot be that person who goes, I'm just going to do it at home. No, you're not. You're doing it here. Because I want to see that it can get done here, that you're not cheating on it. And they're not asking your parent who doesn't know anything about it. So keep that in mind. I do not accept cheating. And I can tell who cheats, right? We get to a test, you've got 100% on all your homework, and you get to a test and you bomb a test. You were cheating because no one can get 100% on homework and then fail my test. Because the test was all the homework problems I just copied and pasted. I don't make up new problems. I'm not that creative. I just copied and pasted the homework problems I assigned to you, and I put them on the test, so you've already seen them. When you get your first homework, you already see a couple of your homework questions, your test questions. So if you should not be cheating, right? I know there's websites out there called Slater. I'm not oblivious to it, right? Slater's cheating. Now, it's nice to check your answer every once in a while. Did I even get it right? Check. Oh, yeah, I got it right. Cool. Moving on, right? But if you're just copy and pasting their answer, you're cheating. You're not even putting any mental effort into it. You have to learn how to do it. And whoever runs that Slater website for mathematics, they suck at math. They're really bad. They get stuff wrong all the time. They're terrible. So, don't cheat, just ask questions. When we're in class and we're working, you can ask your neighbors. They might tell you how to do it. You can ask me questions. Why would you even want to cheat when you can ask me a question how to do something? If that's too much hand. Too bad it's sad. You're in high school. Life's tough. Wear a helmet. Now, homework test policies. I assign about 2 to 3 assignments a week. It can be small. It could be 5 vocab words. Find the definitions of it. It could be a Google form. Go fill out this form. Put the answers in there. It could be a couple problems out of the textbook. It could be a worksheet, right? Don't expect anything more than 25 questions. That's ridiculous. You still have to have a life outside this room. But I do expect you to do your homework. So there's a range of things you could be doing. Late work. You can do homework up to 10 days late. After 10 days, it's zeros, and I don't accept it anymore. Small time frame, 10 days. That's like about a week and a couple days. So if I assign something today, middle of next week, it's due. Like late due. That means you're losing points. So, small time frame. Now you can redo work if you completed it within that 10 days. So if you only get a couple of questions right, 2 out of 20, you can redo the assignment and get up to full credit. But don't be that person that just turns in one problem done. You turn in one problem, guess what? You can only redo one problem because you didn't even complete it the first time. So keep that in mind. Now, I will not accept late work after 10 days. It's forever a 0. You cannot come back to it at the end of the semester, end of the quarter. It's forever a 0. Do your homework when I assign it. Don't wait for you to do it at home. Do it in here, so before you walk out the door, you can turn it in. I will give you plenty of time in class to work. Test policies. You can retake every test one time. Every test. Every time once. You'll get the better of the 2 scores. Now, the reason why I have that policy is because I don't want you worrying about your stupid grades in this room. Grades are stupid. Did you learn it? Do you know how to do it? If you know that, retaking a test should be no stress. I don't want you worrying about grade. I want you to learn math. That's why you're here. Grades are stupid. They're pointless. Quizzes. If we do a pop quiz, you cannot retake those. That's what you know today, not tomorrow. That's a one-shot go. So be ready to go. And 1 pop quiz. So we take 2 major tests a quarter, 2. And we take a couple quizzes in between there, and we do a bunch of homework. Homework is a lot. So, now, grading policies. 90s are A's, 80s are B's, C's are 70s, D's are 60s, and F's are anything below that. So it's kind of a tough schedule. It's the default district scale. Now, grading policies, the semesters. I'm going to the 40-40-20. If you've never heard this, for all my freshmen here that are looking at me weird, 20% is the December semester test we take. Yes, we take semester tests in all the classes here at the high school. 20% of your grade is semester test. 40% is quarter 2, 40% is quarter 1. That's 100% of your grade for the first semester. Quarter 1, quarter 2 semester test. So keep that in mind. Now in the gradebook, if you've already logged into the gradebook, JMC, you'll see there's 3 categories. There's homework, which is 55% of your grade, 55. If you don't do your homework, the other person I don't do homework. You just failed my room. You just failed this class. Now, test is still 40%. You can still fail this class if you don't do well on your tests. So don't be that person I'm just going to cheat on all the homework and I'll pass. No, you won't. Because you're only going to get a maximum of 55%, still below failing. So you got to do well on tests and quizzes. And then participation. If we do some research thing, I have you go on your Chromebook or go research or do some other type of form or some small things, right? Still participation. You cannot come in here and put your head down and expect to pass. You will not. You got to be actively engaged in this class to learn it. This is not Algebra 1. It's a very weird theoretical math. It's not analytical. We're not solving for X every day. So, Questions? Okay, the last thing here. I have a website. It's mrword.org, hsmath.com or .org. It's one of those. And then it's ghvmath.com. This is probably the easiest one most people memorize. They all go to the same website. It looks like this. On this website, I have every class video, all 180 days of the year. So you're seeing it. I'm recording right now, right? Points to the board. I never point at you. That's weird and creepy. I just want to have, you know, a documentation of what we did that day. So in case you're gone, you can watch it and see what we did that day. So this website stays up there. All the videos stay up there. I don't edit them. I just post them live. If it's a train wreck, it's a train wreck and it's online forever. Don't care. I don't want to put any mental effort into it. I just want it online so everyone can see what we did that day. It's got, you know, it's got daily lessons, so you can click down through geometry, algebra, you know, pre-calc and calc, whatever class you're in. It's got archive of all the other years I've done, all the way back to 2016. So you can go back to any class through there. And you can scroll, it's nice and pretty, but it's got all the homework, it's got all the worksheets, it's got PowerPoints, it's got video, it's got everything. It's nice and clean. I also post to JMC, so you don't have to go to a bunch of different websites. JMC, your gradebook, has lesson plans on there, so you can click on there. It'll have links to my website. It'll have links to the video. It'll have all the notes. It just won't look nice and pretty like this website will. This has all the graphics and all the other nice things, like downloads for worksheets and stuff, or links to the Google form if you need it. So I try to send out like links to this stuff like every day. So you'll probably get a couple emails from me. Sorry, it gets kind of intrusive. I send out links, you know, in the JMC, plus I also sometimes I send a link out once a week or so to say, hey, here's the website. If you haven't been looking at it, go watch the videos, you know, that type of thing. There's no ads on it. I don't collect any revenue through YouTube because that's where the videos go. There's nothing on it because I can't. It's against the law to do that for a teacher. So I just post out there, put it onto the ether in case you need to watch it. It's okay, I record in 4K, so it's pretty good quality. So you can downscale it to anything you need, but if there's something that you need personally, I'll get it up on the website. Plus, you could probably also go to any of the archive stuff from previous years and kind of watch the same lesson a different way. So that's always kind of a nice thing. Questions? Sorry, I talk a lot. Okay, tomorrow you're going to get your online textbook, you're going to get your physical textbook. First assignment you're going to get is book covers. You have to get them on. So keep that in mind. That's all I got. Anything for the good cause, anything that you guys can think of right now that you need. Okay, I've got about 30